My name is Paul Webb and I head up the Learning Strategy and Customer Education at Joblogic. Now it's a nice long title. Basically what it means is I am responsible for the teaching of our teams and the learning internally of Joblogic, where we teach all our staff and colleagues exactly what you guys do, what you guys go through, how you guys grow, your issues, your positives, your negatives, everything around every workflow, every kind of process that you do. We teach our internal staff all about you. The other side of my job is doing things like this and helping customers like yourselves scale and grow, and teaching you about sort of best practice, best workflows within your industry and so on. So before we dive in, I just want to ask a quick question, and if we can have a show of hands. How many of you in this room, so I'll give you two options, how many of you in this room use Joblogic as an operational tool, and how many of you in this room use it as a growth tool? So operational tool, let's be honest. Okay, so we've got some work to do. And growth tool, nice. Okay, it's a few. Well, that's what, obviously, as Jim said, that's what today is about, and what we're going to kind of take you through is how we believe we can be your partner in growth, down to our expertise, our knowledge, our experience, and just some very, very good people that we've got working for us now. So I have a few slides. So the focus around this kind of growth message is turning that initial interest into income. Now, there's a lot of businesses in this room that are varying in size and maturity. We've got people here that are 2 years into their business. We've got people at enterprise level that are 5, 10, 15, 20 years in and scaling still. So the way we want to look at this is just making you faster, smarter, and doing things smoother. And as Jim said, we know that there's still things in our system that some of you in this room don't use and should use. So what we're hoping to do is to, using the booze today and using the expertise around the room, is kind of guide you into using more of the system and allowing you to grow to that kind of next level. So a little bit of an agenda for you. Oh, that would have been funny. 5 little points. I'm going to talk to you about laying the foundations and how people and processes equal your growth. I'm going to talk to you about quoting, contracts, automation, and something we're very, very passionate about at Joblogic, which is taking our customers from chaos to clarity, or helping you get there. Just click my page. Told you I'm multitasking. So I'm not here to teach any of you how to run your business. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm hoping you can take away some little nuggets that we tell you about and we talk to you about today, and just give you an insight into the playbooks, if you like, of years of experience of customers that we've spoken to, and we've obviously mapped what we believe are best practices, best workflows, and the best way to run a system like Joblogic through your business. And we believe in kind of 4 foundational blocks, if you like. The consistency, and that obviously is a process that makes every quote, every job that you guys do streamlined, consistent, accurate, the same every time. We think about stability. Well, obviously the big foundation there for a stable business is contracts and PPM. PPM contracts that give you that predictable kind of revenue, predictable income. Now, as I said, the different sizes of customers that are here today, the different levels of businesses. Some of you will run fully fledged PPM contracts with thousands of assets and map those assets out, and obviously, as James said, see the guys in Locatrix down the bottom. They'll show you something very nice for your assets today. But Some of you are, like you said, in those early stages, so you won't be looking at those sort of full-size heavy contracts, but you will start using things like recurring jobs and making this regular income. And that's the key. That's the foundation that you are all aiming for. The efficiency, James touched on, and my colleague Neil and Greg will talk to you about automations in more detail. I'm going to show you a few. I'm going to talk to you about efficiency gains through what we call automations and apps. So I'll talk to you about that. And if you can't see because of my rather large frame, we have momentum, and taking you to a place, helping you grow to a place where you're planning with your people and not firefighting. Okay, see a lot of people nodding, so I think that obviously makes sense. So, quoting. Now, some of you may know me from, I was a consultant at Joblogic, a trainer for years, and Jim mentioned people not using a particular size or a particular feature within the software. And quoting for me is the one where everything starts. Yes, we've got prospect management, which Neil will speak to you about a bit later on. But for me, with quoting, this is the thing that it still gets a light touch, if you see what I mean, where it should be this growth lever right at the start of your funnel, if you like. And it should be the thing that represents your company and your brand. The thing with quoting inside Joblogic is obviously the speed and the quoting templates that will allow you to kind of build your selling rates, build the materials required for quotations, and keep everything looking professional, consistent and accurate. And these are one of the first steps of what we would term, if you like, inside Joblogic is this best practice. It's best practice to use quote templates to ensure that consistency. You build them, you put them in place, and then your staff and your team use them, and you have that consistency in place in your system. So it isn't just about quoting faster though, because obviously it's about freeing up your people from wearing what we call wearing too many hats, doing too many things. Flexibility with the quotes, adding photos, terms, materials, SORs, all these sorts of things are going to make each quote a lot more streamlined and will allow you to keep those processes smooth and scalable. And we also talk to our customers about cash flow upfront. Now, we, as some of you in this room already know and do, we integrate with Stripe. And Stripe is going to allow you to cut down delays on deposits and payments and make that a lot better process and protect your margins. Okay. So just a quick kind of example here of a quote template being built. As you watch this, guys, I want you to think about your quoting process, and is it freeing your people to quote in a streamlined manner? And what you can see here is it being the template being built inside the back end of Joblogic, ready to be used. Quoting speeds up and links directly to your engineers and your back office ratio. If it takes you guys days to build quotes, then you probably need more admin staff. But if it takes you hours, your existing team can support more engineers, and that gives you that step forward in your growth. One of their customers, I think they're in the room today somewhere, I'll find them, but I won't out them just yet. They took their quoting time from 2 to 3 days down to 1, and now are pushing out quotes the same day thanks to the link between mobile, back end and so on. But again, it isn't just about the software, it's about the workflows and the processes they put in place. Okay. just jump away from them. So, quoting, as I said, first stage, quoting wins you jobs. It does. But contracts build your business. Now, I know some of you are probably sat there going, yeah, we know this. But this is where we believe we're stronger. We can offer more advice. We've got teams at Joblogic that help with our customers with large tenders. We've been on tender meetings with our customers and represented Joblogic to the people they're looking for a tender from. So I want to speak to you a little bit about recurring revenue and obviously the PPM contracts inside Joblogic that lock in that predictable income and gives your business your stability to grow. This also has a knock-on effect to your customer loyalty and deepens that relationship, turning those kind of one-off firefighting jobs, if you like, into repeatable partnerships. And you've all been there. You all somewhere would have started with those reactive firefighting jobs, done a fantastic job, quality, on time, everything compliant, and that will then lead to either that recurring job or your PPM contract. That leads to that relationship builder, and it's in Joblogic we can handle all this for you from the mobile and obviously from the back office. Professional credibility. Obviously, for some of the guys that are enterprise level in the room, they know all about this. Large tenders and clients expect structured agreements with real-time performance data, customer portals, and so on. Okay, that wasn't always the way. I remember back in the very early days when we launched Joblogic mobile but on PDAs, and tenders were blown away by the fact that our customers had real-time connection to their engineers, and that won a lot of tenders for some of our customers. But now it's an absolute given. You have to have real-time connection to your engineer. You have to have a customer portal. You've got to be able to allow that customer to come in and download their invoices, look at performance, see if SLAs have been made. All these sorts of things are simple inside the system as long as your process includes it. Okay? Like our quoting system in Joblogic, you can build contracts in minutes with PPM templates, built-in SLAs, add your assets to it, set up your invoicing, automated invoicing inside it, set up your templates for your invoices, get them to go out. You don't even have to think about it. They just leave the system. And obviously, no misrenewals. Automated alerts in Joblogic. This is making sure that contract's going to be reviewed, it's going to be looked at and dealt with in time. I should have bought a tablet, shouldn't I? Again, guys, it's just a little video. Some of you may already know this, but it's just a little video just showing you a PPM contract being built in Joblogic and how quickly you can streamline that process. And that's every time we build something, and I guess my colleague Neil and Greg will talk more about that. We do it with the intention in mind of saving those clicks, saving that time, looking for those efficiency gains for you guys as users. And I think, I'm biased, but I think our UI, our user experience is beautiful on Joblogic. Very easy to use, nice and slick. And you can see how straightforward that is to do that. And it brings me back to kind of like the ratio point. Now, right now, according to the industries, the average kind of ratio between the back office and the engineers is 1 versus 1.67. So it's almost a 1-to-1 relationship. And that, of course, guys, as some of you know here, that isn't scalable. Where you guys need to be is 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, even better. But the industry at the moment is 1 to 1.67. The best businesses we see are 1 to 3, 1 to 5, and the contracts are set up properly because renewals don't get missed. As you can see, assets and that get planned in, and everything is nice and slick inside the system. So, quick show of hands again, guys, if you don't mind. Which of you in the room, if it's your position to know, knows your ratio between your back office and your engineers? 1, 2, 3. Okay, the more hands going up, that's fine. Okay. So you can see how many hands didn't go up. And it's something that people, they don't ignore, but they don't realise. And if you are at that 1 back office to 3 engineer area, you're in a nice little sweet spot. If you're 1 to 5, that's perfection. But the average at the moment, 1 to 1.67, and that's why the people are struggling to scale in the industry. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some automation, but I'm not going to steal my colleague's thunders. I just want to talk about how at the very start, where we're talking about winning this work and how we take that interest into income as smoothly as possible, as fast as possible. There's some basics you can obviously do inside the system with preset SLAs and of course the Stripe integration, which I've mentioned already. What I want to focus on is where the efficiency gains are. So you heard Jim talk about dynamic scheduling, and we've also got an engineer prediction tool. Now it works a little bit differently. It works based on data. So you must have 100 jobs in the system, and then it starts machine learning about who is best to send to which job. Okay? Whereas dynamic scheduling, as the colleagues will tell you, is more rule-based. You set up the rules, qualifications, areas, etc. So the assisted scheduling and the engineer prediction, similar tools, but as I said, one's data driven and learns, and the other is more about the rules that you set up. We've also got AI dashboards for you and your customer. So they're live reacting dashboards, real time, and you can click in and dive into bits of information. So that might be something that pricks a lot of your ears up. Like I said, you and your customers can use these, and that's something you might want to talk to the guys around the booth today about as well. And then finally, integrations. I've already plugged Locatrix once, so I can't do it again. But we have a vast array of integrations. Now, a lot of people look at Joblogic, speak to our CSN, speak to the ICs and our support guys and think, yeah, you integrate to Sage. You integrate to QuickBooks, Accounts IQ. It's not the account side. We have those integrations, of course, but we also integrate to other systems like Locatrix down at the bottom, which is the floor planning software, and a number of other kind of CRM packages, jobs, quotes, all these sorts of things are going to help you take that extra step, are going to help you get that efficiency gain and take you to that next stage of your growth. I spoke to a contractor about the Stripe integration, and no, I'm not plugging Stripe, I'm not on any sort of commission. It just was a conversation that came up, and they did wait weeks for deposits on agreed quotes, but once they introduced the Stripe integration and sent the quote and got an agreement, the payment was there same or next day. So that again is another efficiency gain. Cash flows better, no one's chasing, no one's sending emails, no one's making phone calls. This is kind of where I'm going to start to wrap up, guys. I spoke to you at the beginning about from chaos to clarity, and for me, I've been at Joblogic now nearly 18, 19 years. And for me, the difference now is all about, I think it was 2023, a kind of a light switch flicked, if you like. We built the system so feature rich, and obviously the marketplace came along and we've got all these lovely apps, that there was a pivotal point where we became more about being a growth partner than just being, as Jim quite eloquently put it, we walk in, we sell you some software, we train you, we leave you alone. We don't do that anymore. You can see the big team of CSMs we've got at the back, our customer success manager, and they're the guys that help you take those next steps. They're the guys that know, we keep talking about these playbooks, this experience. Oh, I dealt with another AC company and they did this and this took them up here. So it was around 2023 we stopped becoming a piece of operational software, we believe, and we became a growth piece of software. And you'll hear the term a lot today. A lot of people in this room understand what SaaS means. So software as a service. We've now reversed that. At Joblogic, we now believe it's service as a software. The software is a small point, of course it is. It's our product. It's what keeps the lights on. But it's our people. It's our people with their years of experience helping our customers grow that I think, in a biased, again, manner, puts us head and shoulders above all our competitors. I really do believe that. So, we believe, obviously, people and processes equal growth, and it only comes when you balance the right people and processes. One won't scale without the other. Again, sounds obvious, but if your processes are wrong, or you've got multiple silos, if you like, multiple systems, you're not going to be able to scale easily. And you've got to look at all your workflows, all your processes, what you're using, and see where you can streamline and have that efficiency gain. And we've got loads of you in the room that have done this. Again, know your ratio. And it's no surprise that a lot of people don't know what their engineer to back office ratio is. But to know that and aim for 1 to 3 is you staying lean and being able to scale at pace. Set up BPM contracts, recurring jobs, full details, assets, notes, photos, compliance sheets. Make all of them part of your process. Okay, especially with compliance, don't think of compliance as just a tick box exercise you've got to do at the end of the job. Merge it into your process, make it part of the flow. Use data as your fuel. Your engineers are so vital to this. I know they can be a pain in the bum, but they are so vital to collecting that data at the coalface, because they're there. They're the ones doing it. And a lot of you in this room have done it and gone on to build your own businesses, so you know what I'm saying is right. They're so good at getting that data for you, but only if the processes behind them are built correctly. And that's where you get into another conversation about adoption and so on, but we won't talk about that today. Automate the admin. Now this one, depending on where you are in your growth, is the one that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people struggle to trust software, even in this day and age. Now we have automations, we have apps that do lots of things for you. You can bring these apps into your workflow, you can bring these apps into your process, and what they're going to do then is basically allow your people to focus on delivery. Okay, if you're doing something twice, ask why. If you're doing something repetitively or you have to go around the hills to do, ask why, and speak to us. What do other plumbing and heating companies do? What do other AC companies do? Other roofing companies, electrical companies? We've seen everything, and we've helped people improve their workflows and their processes applying this best practice as we talk about. And even if we keep it simple, guys, it doesn't matter how long you've been in business, you're there to do three things. You want to win the work, do it, and bill it. That's it. That literally is it. It doesn't matter if you've got 400 engineers or 4. They're the 3 key factors you want to do and want to achieve. So, thinking forward, build habits today that free you from firefighting and create momentum for tomorrow's growth. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and I think it's almost time for me to wrap up. Everything I've spoken to you about this morning, guys, and I appreciate you listening. Some of you might be sat there who are 20 years in going, yeah, I know. But it's actually applying it. And let's be truthful with ourselves. How many of you apply everything we speak about when it comes to workflows, processes? Keep checking them, keep reworking them. Keep asking yourself, can we gain any efficiencies? Yes, I could sit here and say, look at the apps on Joblogic's marketplace. Of course I can. But look at your workflows and your processes first, and free your people up to be your delivery evangelists, if you like. Don't get them bogged down in the weeds with bad processes. And these things that I spoke about aren't huge changes. They're small. But they're habits of our bigger customers in the room. Okay? Good. I'm going to probably wrap this up now, guys, and thank you for your time. Thank you very much, guys.